Students, parents, family members, welcome to North High School's 2020 graduation ceremony. While it's unfortunate we cannot celebrate with you in Bundard Stadium or Husky Arena, this will be one of the most remembered ceremonies in North's history. There have been many things that we feel that you have missed over the last 5 months, but this virtual graduation is all about celebrating the culmination of your efforts over your school career. At this time, I'd like to introduce North High School's class of 2020 President, Michaela Burry.
Writing this speech, which was supposed to be for commencement, was difficult due to there being so much confusion and angst with how and when we would formally celebrate our class. Let me be the first to say that I'm glad it's finally here. We deserve this, so take it in. I invite you to stay in the present with me and not think about what you're doing next weekend or what time you're going to your friend's graduation party. And while I have your attention, I want to have you think back on the years of high school with me. The class of 2020 has worked extremely hard leading up to this moment. Quarantine, along with the last 4 years, have encouraged personal development. This personal development has made the class of 2020 stronger than we've ever been by giving us one more notch under our belt, that notch being an additional and unique life experience. Our class is extremely special for a number of reasons, but the top one being we were dealt a hand that we weren't prepared for. We persevered and came out on top. But that's what makes us so unique. Some could say that what we had to manage was unfair and that we shouldn't have had to deal with it altogether. But that's how life works. We're thrown things that we're not exactly sure how to handle. With this being said, we should all be extremely proud of the work we have done thus far. Taking this unfair advantage and handling it with grace while turning it into a life lesson shows unbelievable strength. With that strength, I believe our motto is very fitting. Hindsight is 2020 and the future is just as clear. If we're able to push through and survive this crazy year, then it is fitting to say each and every one of us will be able to make it through this crazy and precious life. As freshmen in the fall of 2016, we didn't know what these 4 years had in store. We had to memorize and learn copious amounts of new information while committing it to memory. For example, the 2C hallways, where our classes were, and how to deal with upperclassmen. It's a crazy thought to think that was 4 years ago. As we conclude our time here at North High School, I'd like to encourage you to reminisce on all the memories that you shared with friends and family. Take those memories and cherish them. Those memories, even the bad, help build character. If we let the bad memories overrun our mind so that we dwell on the negative, they have the ability to cloud judgment and make the future cloudy. However, if we choose to take those bad experiences and grow from them, we can use those only to enhance our future to make it even clearer. With this, hindsight will be 2020, and we will be better equipped on how to deal with unprecedented situations later on in life. At this time, I'd like to introduce a dear friend and classmate, Allie Wilsbacher.
I am a strong believer that everything happens for a reason, but this one has really stumped me. And at this point, thinking about our class motto seems so ironic. In case you forgot, it is as follows. Hindsight is 2020, the future is just as clear. After all, 2020 was supposed to be our year. Last August, when we selected this motto, the future seemed like a well-drawn map laid before us, at least for the second semester of our senior year. We would continue going to school, playing our final spring sports, trying to keep up with Mr. Skinner as he recites the world's fastest Pledge of Allegiance, performing our last spring musical, riding a tour to North, waiting in line for Taco Day, getting dressed up and attending our very last prom, finally enjoying our own class day rather than patiently tolerating someone else's, and then basking in the brief, shining moment that all others have led toward, graduating. 2020 was meant to be our time to walk across the stage after watching our predecessors before us. It was our time to be the boys with awkward handshakes and the girls in dangerously high heels who try their best to walk gracefully across the AstroTurf. But nevertheless, it would finally be our turn. And then things truly took a turn for the worse, which is where the irony comes into play. Suddenly, absolutely nothing is clear to any of us. So much for our 2020 vision. We walked the halls on our last day at North High School without even realizing it. It was Friday the 13th. It was a full moon. That night, tornadoes swirled in the sky above. Our class's unwitting end could not have been more depressing and ominous. Very fitting, EVSC. But in the midst of such tumult, we owe a great deal of gratitude to the people who have cheered us on both in this moment and in all the years leading up to it. First of all, to our parents, families, and loved ones. Thank you for your unwavering support. Thank you for showing up to our games, attending our performances, working our concession stands, and for the other countless hours that you have spent volunteering for us and for our schools. As a class, it is important that we recognize the fact that our parents, grandparents, and other loved ones have felt such uncertainty at least one other time in their lives. I'm referring to the incident of 9/11. Our class was born into this world either before, during, or shortly after this crisis, which created such unclear expectations of our future as a generation, similar to what is being felt currently in our lives. With that being said, we appreciate you more than you know, and we appreciate your sympathy surrounding the losses that we have experienced this year. We recognize the courage it took to raise a child amidst such uncertainty, and as we now must face similar adversity as adults, we know now more than ever that we can continue to look to you for guidance and for strength. Teachers and staff, I am so sorry for all of the panicked emails and a lack of sleep that we may have caused. Thank you for always holding our hands and helping us through our panic. You were doing so long before global catastrophe and will no doubt do it for generations of students after. You have not only taught us information that will help our minds grow, but you have taught us how to be more prepared, compassionate, and helpful human beings overall. Too often you are underappreciated, but please know that we appreciate you in every way possible. We will never forget you and the infinite things that you have done for us, and we hope that you will not forget us either. And finally, my fellow seniors. Let me begin by stating that none of you deserve the disaster the end of our senior year has become. We have literally worked our entire lives to enjoy this single moment, and in the blink of an eye, along with so many other things, it has been stripped away. But I am so proud of us, because despite all of these terrible odds being thrown our way, here we are. Our class is unique and strong, and we always will be. Our class will be remembered as the class that experienced something unlike any other class, having been born into a time of great calamity and now entering the world on our own into the same. Although we couldn't spend our last moments together like we have always dreamed of, I know for a fact that all of you are still as astounding as you were before we left for quarantine. And because of that, I know that our futures still have the potential to be full of success and incredible life moments. There is a song by Hannah Montana titled, "I'll Always Remember You." The first few lines of lyrics are enough to always make me cry. She sings, "I always knew this day would come. We'd be standing one by one, with our future in our hands, so many dreams, so many plans. Always knew after all these years, there'd be laughter, there'd be tears, but never thought that I'd walk away with so much joy and so much pain. And it's so hard to say goodbye." After listening to this song on repeat, I knew that I needed to include it in my speech. It was like Hannah knew that our class would have so much pain, yet still try to find joy in the situation. Joy that we are finally with our friends again. Joy that we will soon complete one of the biggest milestones of our lives. Joy that we can find a clear future in the distance. And now especially, it is so hard to say goodbye. I never believed that the time would actually come when I would have to sit down and write this speech, especially in the middle of a pandemic while wearing a mask. But here I am, and here we all are. Class of 2020, I'm so proud of us. I wish all of you the absolute best of luck with everything you do in life. Just like it did for our families following the 9/11 crisis, our futures will become clear. We are Huskies, and once a Husky, always a Husky. I don't want to say goodbye because I know this is not goodbye forever. So for now, I will leave you with until next time. But of course, make sure we're at least 6 feet apart.
Students, parents, and family members, it is my honor and privilege to present North High School's 64th graduating class, the class of 2020. This class has been offered more than $9.5 million in scholarships. 118 graduates have accepted more than $5.2 million. 335 students have earned their credentials. 34 students have earned a 4.0 or above cumulative grade point average. Alexander Fawn was named a 2020 National Merit Finalist. Jacob Alvey, Tanner Jackson, and Natalie Rose were named 2020 National Merit Program Commended Students. Natalie Rose was also awarded a Harvard University scholarship worth $250,000 for 4 years. Griffin Eater was an appointment to the United States Military Academy at West Point worth $349,000 for 4 years. Abby Whittington was a 2-time state champion in girls team golf. There are 134 graduates who have earned distinguished honors diplomas, 108 academic honors, 9 with technical honors, and 17 with both academic and technical honors. 43 graduates are members of the National Honor Society, 32 graduates are 21st century scholars. 106 graduates complete at least one advanced placement course, and 207 graduates at least one college credit course. 166 graduates have earned a governor's work ethic certificate. This class is the 64th class of North High School, the 9th graduating class at the new campus on Highway 41 North, and the first class to graduate in a virtual graduation ceremony. 262 graduates will continue their education, and 5 graduates will be enlisted and have been appointed to the United States military. Drew Cates, Griffin Eder, Tristan Fisher, John Kirkpatrick, and Zachary Lawrence. While we know this class of 2020 will have many great accomplishments, we are saddened by the passing of one of your classmates, Alec Cavens. Please pause with me for a moment of silence to remember Alec Cavens. Thank you. This class has met the requirements set forth by the state of Indiana, as well as Evansville-Vanderburgh School Corporation, and should receive proper credentials. EVSC School Board President, Mr. Jeff Worthington, Vice President, Mr. Andy Greeno, Secretary, Mr. Chris Kiefer, Miss Ann Ennis, Reverend Terry Gamblin, Mr. David Hollinsworth, Miss Karen Ragland, and Dr. David Smith. North High School's class of 2020.
At this time, I'd like to commemorate Alec Cavins, who passed away June 26th. Our sincerest condolences go out to the Cavins family, as well as who all knew him. He was a bright light among the class of 2020 and will be dearly missed. Keeping the theme of tonight's graduation in mind, hindsight is 2020, the future is just as clear, I would like to focus these last few minutes on reminiscing of the good times we shared and the positive opportunities that came out of the dreadful quarantine. Yes, I said dreadful. For me, though, it wasn't dreadful. Through this unforeseen experience, I was able to make memories that I would not have had if quarantine never happened. For example, my sisters and I have not lived together in the house in several years, and I know that many of you experienced this challenge as well. Although challenging at times, we had the opportunity to have numerous game nights, attempt TikTok challenges, and grow closer as a family. Don't get me wrong, sometimes we wanted to pull each other's hair out, but that's part of the fun, right? Now some would choose to focus on the things that we missed out on. But we can't forget to focus on the things we were fortunate enough to do. We got the chance to cheer on our Huskies in our last football season, have our last Santa Switch, and connect with teachers electronically the last few months of our senior year. I've even seen that some chose to celebrate prom in their own meaningful way that didn't involve spending copious amounts on a Sherry Hill dress. Yes, we had to socially distance ourselves from everyone, but we were fortunate enough to have the technology to FaceTime our friends and distant family. Although I want to look at the positives, it has taken me some time to get here. At first, I was angry at what was happening, and I wondered why it had to happen to me, and for that matter, us. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized being angry was a waste of time and energy. There is so much to be thankful for and so much to look forward to. After all, most of us are 18 years old. We have our whole lives ahead of us. We can go out there and make a name for ourselves outside of North High School, make new friends, try new things, challenge ourselves, and so much more. But we have two options. We can choose to let this experience hinder our future, or we can use this as fuel to keep going. Each of us is on a different path, and we will discover different hardships and successes. But I want to take a moment to thank the people that led us to this crossroad. We truly could not have gotten here without your support and guidance. Words cannot express how much we appreciate your occasional nagging, even though in the moment it could have been aggravating. So as we go off into our separate paths, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Class of 2020, it's been a pleasure being classmates these 4 years. Your path is what you make of it, so might as well make the most of it. Be kind, have fun, and stay 6 feet apart. And remember, hindsight is 2020, and with the right mindset, the future really is just as clear.
Graduates of North High School, class of 2020, I hope you show your appreciation to your families, teachers, and others that help you reach a special milestone in your life. Seniors graduating this year are part of a special, unique group. They are now members of North High School alumni, which totals 20,963 spanning the last 64 school years. Remember, class of 2020, once a Husky, always a Husky.
Hello, I'm Jeff Worthington, President of the EVSC Board of Trustees. At this time, I'm proud to accept the graduating class of 2020. I know this has been a very unique and frustrating year. Many of what should have been your greatest memories as a senior were not able to be realized. Going forward with the next chapter of your life, always keep in mind that nothing is guaranteed. Live each day to the fullest. Congratulations and best of luck from all the Board of Trustees at the EVSC.
Congratulations, class of 2020. I'm proud of you. These have been really challenging times, and I hope and pray that these are the most challenging times that you ever face in your life. But if they're not, know that you've developed a resiliency. Know that you've developed a coping mechanism that will help you handle disappointments in your life. And everybody experiences disappointments. But it's the way you handle those disappointments that really make your mark as a human being and how you can serve others. So I truly am proud of you. I'm also sorry that you did not have the opportunity to experience some of the milestone events that seniors typically experience. But as you look back on this pandemic year, I hope you look back about the opportunities that it did present itself. Perhaps you were able to get closer to family as we were all required to stay home. So as you plan the next phase of your life, please don't take anything for granted. You are truly God's unique gift to one another. So I pray that when we meet each other again, that you'll be able to express the joy that you've experienced because of the successes that you will have in your future. Thank you so much for how you've handled yourself during this pandemic. Congratulations and good luck. We're proud of you.